Hello students and welcome to the lecture on linear separability. The 8th lecture in the lecture series for the course of Artificial Neural Networks for the Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering students of the 7th semester Goa College of Engineering. I am Ms. Purti Savardekar, the faculty in charge for this course. One of the striking features of human intelligence is the ability to recognize complex patterns effortlessly without any conscious involvement, subconsciously. Recognition is the ability to classify data into known categories. We can recognize because we can classify. Motivated by the brain metaphor, we've been trying to develop applications like fingerprint recognition, iris recognition, medical diagnosis, signature verification, etc. To understand more terminology involved in this topic, so that we become well versed, let us consider the example of weather forecasting. Assume that we have a huge database of reliable samples. These samples are measurements done in the past. Measurements of, say, temperature, wind velocity, relative humidity, and cloud cover from satellite imaging. Each sample collected, every sample that we have, will have a value for all of these factors. A value for temperature, a value for wind velocity, a value for relative humidity, and a value for cloud cover from satellite imaging. Every sample will have its own value for each of these. Therefore, we call these samples patterns. And every parameter in the sample is called a feature. Temperature is one feature, wind velocity is another feature, relative humidity is the third feature, and cloud cover is the fourth feature. That means we have a database of patterns. Pattern 1 having certain values for these features, pattern 2 with its own values for the same features, pattern 3 having its own values for the same features, and so on. I hope that the idea of patterns and their features is clear. Now, let us assume that the patterns are available with us and that they can be sorted into two categories. Ones that indicate rains and the ones that indicate a sunny weather. The patterns have been tagged that way and we have that information. These two categories are called pattern classes. A pattern class is a set of patterns that originate from the same source and share similar properties. What does it mean to perform weather forecasting? Pause the video for a minute or two and think about it. Yes, to have a weather forecasting machine is the same as having a classifier that will take an input pattern and classify it as belonging to either of the pattern classes, rainy or sunny. We will be having a pattern recognition machine or a pattern classifier. We want to design a pattern classifier that can predict whether or not it will rain on a particular day based on feature measurements which have been taken over previous 24 hours. So that means our pattern classifier will take a pattern vector where every element of the vector will be one feature measurement value and it will classify that vector as belonging to either of the two pattern classes. Now, pause the video for a minute or two and think about what it means to design a classifier. Let me help you in thinking this through. If we have only one feature in all the patterns that we have, we can have all of the values on x-axis only. That means all of the patterns can be plotted on the x-axis line. If we have two features, we can have the values on x and y axis, and the pattern can be plotted in the xy plane with first feature as the x coordinate and the second feature as the y coordinate. If we have three features, the third feature can then be plotted on the z axis, and the patterns will be plotted in 3D space, and so on. The number of features decide the dimensionality of the pattern space. In our example, currently we have a 4-dimensional pattern space. How come 4D? Answer this for yourself. Now, we should be able to plot all the given patterns in our pattern space. We will observe then that all the rainy patterns will be plotted in certain regions of the space, and all the sunny patterns will be plotted in certain other regions of space. This happens because patterns that belong to a class share similar properties. They tend to cluster together in certain regions of the pattern space. Classification will then mean identifying the two regions as two separate regions. We will have to mark the rainy region and mark the sunny region. In other words, we will have to draw a boundary between the two regions. On one side of the boundary will be all the rainy patterns, and on the other side of the boundary will be all the sunny patterns. That means we will have to have a class separating boundary, or what we call a decision boundary. These class separating boundaries partition the pattern space into decision regions. A decision boundary separates the decision regions. I hope you are able to imagine this. For a single dimensional space, the decision boundary is just a point. On one side of the point will be one class patterns, and the other side of the point will be the other class patterns. For a 2D pattern space, the decision boundary is a line. On one side of the line will be one class patterns, and on the other side of the line will be the other class patterns. For a 3D pattern space, the decision boundary is a plane. On one side of the plane will be one class patterns, on the other side of the plane will be the other class patterns. Such decision boundaries are also known as hyperplanes. For 1D patterns, the hyperplane is a point. For 2D patterns, the hyperplane is a line. For 3D patterns, the hyperplane is a plane, and so on. I hope the concept of a hyperplane is clear to all. But decision boundaries could be straight, like how I explained just now, or they may have a more complicated shape. In other words, the decision boundaries could have a linear or a non-linear form. If it is not possible to have a straight line separating the regions, then the patterns are said to be linearly non-separable. Such patterns then may be separated by decision boundaries that are non-linear or piecewise linear. That is why such patterns can be said to be non-linearly separable. meaning the patterns can be separated with the help of non-linear decision boundaries. When the pattern space consists of only two pattern classes and can be separated by one decision boundary, we say that the space has been dichotomized. In Greek, dika means into and tomy means cutting. Thus, dichotomy means cutting in two. A classifier that cuts the pattern space in two is known as a dichotomizer. Like for example, our weather forecasting machine is a dichotomizer. To understand linear separability further, let us take the example of a logical AND operation. Assuming that the domain Boolean variables are x1 and x2, this is the truth table of the AND operation. The mapping is from the domain set of 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 to the range set of 0, 1. These become the patterns with x1 as the first feature and x2 as the second feature. That is why the pattern space is two-dimensional. We plot x1 on the x-axis and x2 on the y-axis. That is 0, 0 plotted here, 0, 1 is plotted here, 1, 0 is plotted here and 1, 1 is here. The patterns that map to 0 belong to one pattern class and the patterns that map to 1 belong to the other pattern class. That's why we mark the patterns belonging to each class differently using, say, unfilled circles and solid circles. The logical AND problem is a dichotomizer problem. And if you view the problem geometrically, it is very intuitive. We can draw infinite number of lines that may be able to separate the patterns belonging to these two different classes. That's why this problem is linearly separable. This is just one of such lines. These are our decision regions and this is our decision boundary. We realize that the patterns are linearly separable. Now, let us look at the logical XOR function. Again, assuming the domain Boolean variables x1 and x2, this is the truth table of the XOR operation. This is the mapping from the domain set of 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 to the range set of 0, 1. This is how the patterns will be plotted. Now pause the video for a minute or two and try to find a line that will separate the two classes. If we see the way the patterns are mapped in the pattern space, we realize that we cannot draw one single line that may be able to separate the patterns belonging to two classes. The patterns are linearly non-separable. We will have to use other methods to classify these points. I hope the concept is now clear. Let us discuss this further in the live Google Meet. See you there. Thank you.